Okay, what you guys have here is we're going to do just the basics of the skyscraper here. We start out first by just making the vanishing points. We don't have to make the horizon right away. And then right here, I'm just going to make my first dividing line for the bottom. And then I'm going to attach the top and bottom of this dividing line to the vanishing point. So I do the left side, then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do the right side, like so. There you go. All right. So now that I've got this, now I'm going to do the two sidelines. I want to make it really wide because I'm going to be putting a bunch of stacks on top of it, and I want a good base. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the back of it, which I draw a line from the vanishing point to the opposite back corner of my shape. So I did it first with the left side and the right side, okay? This might look different based on how big your shape is. So now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to erase my guidelines, because if you start just leaving the guidelines, things are going to get really, really messy really quick, and it's going to be hard to tell where things are. So I like to make sure I'm erasing my guidelines while I'm going. So now I'm going to start the second layer. You guys can see right here with the second layer, I need to make sure there's a gap between there and where I'm going to draw this dividing line for the second one. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a line from here to the bottom of the line I just drew, making sure there's a gap there. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the top, and then I'm going to do the other side, the exact same thing. This is usually the easiest shape to do because you're not really going to have to draw a top to it. So now I'm going to make sure, if you look right here, make sure that the next ones you're doing start on the shape, not off to the side where I made that X. You want to make sure it starts on the roof of the shape below it. So here we go. All right, you can see this one looks like it's sitting on top of it. If I drew it where that X was, that wasn't going to work. So now I'm just going to, again, erase my guidelines. Got this little one right over here. See that? There we go. Got those little ones in there. And then a lot of people mess this up. This right here is actually a solid object. So we need to erase these two lines. We don't want to see them. So now I'm just going to erase these. And I'm going to erase these over here. So now I've got two stacks ready to go. So now I'm going to start the third stack. This is an easy one because it gets smaller the higher up I get. So I'm going to draw another dividing line. And I don't have to connect the bottom, but I do have to connect the top to the vanishing points. So I'm going to connect one, and I'm going to take my ruler, line it up here, and then I'm going to draw, oh, made a little mistake. There you go. Okay, so now I've got the tops of this. I don't have to make the bottom. Now I need to make the dividing lines. The dividing lines have to be a little bit further in. You can see they're not perfectly lined up with the one below it. And now I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to get my little mistake, and then I'm going to erase my guidelines again as I'm going, just to make sure that I don't get too confused. And now with this last one, I'm going to make one that's bigger. So now look here, I'm going to stop short. See how there's a gap between where the top of the roof is now and then where I drew this next dividing line? There's a little bit of a gap here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. Oh, geez. Having problems with my ruler here. Okay. So now I drew one from the top, and now I'm going to draw top to the other side. Notice I'm connecting with the vanishing point. Now I'm going to do the bottom ones, making sure once again that there's a gap between what I'm drawing here. Like what you're drawing right now should not be touching the building you already made. So now I'm going to come in here, just going to draw these little lines right here. My guidelines, notice they're much bigger than the one below it. And now I have to draw the back. The back here lines up with the opposite vanishing point. If you can see it way over to the right, they line up with the opposite vanishing point. So that one here lines up with the opposite vanishing point. If I followed that line, it would touch the opposite vanishing point. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to erase this. Erase my little mistake here. Erase my guidelines. Going wicked fast. And now I have here my building. Okay. And if you guys want to, go ahead on to the next one where I'm going to show you guys how to make some more advanced stuff. All right. Thanks.